You are ready, Jeremy. You want to wait a minute more or you want to start?
No,
Let me know.
no, Martha, that's fine. Thank you. I can start now. So again, thank you for joining us. I see there's even more people joining us as we are speaking. So we'll start off now, and we've lots of people join us from all over US, UK, Ireland, and possibly even further afield. So it's good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, really. It's evening here in Ireland where we're based. Martha's actually in Spain on near the Camino. And tonight, our presentation is just really about chatting about being ready for the Camino, being fit in body and mind for it. More in body than mind, but definitely being fit and ready for the Camino. And we'll run through the presentation now, but as always, we'll start off with a little bit of information about us at CaminoWays. So next slide, please, Martha. So at CaminoWays.com, we offer walking and cycling itineraries on the majority of routes of the Camino, and we have lots and lots of routes which we run through in a minute. So within that, we offer accommodation in hotels only, so you'll always be in a private ensuite room. And what people really love us for is our luggage transfer. So while you're walking with your day bag, we'll transport your main luggage from hotel to your next hotel. So it's all pretty much arranged for you. We can add extras like airport transfers if you're in a group, which we also work with as well. So we work with university groups, friends groups, company groups, all sorts of groups. We can add guides and other services as well, specifically for groups. And also we can add airport transfers from a local airport to your first accommodation. So if you want an airport transfer, it's on request only. So just add it in or request it and it'll be added in for you. Mostly we do self-guided tours. So with our website, CaminoWays.com, you can log in, you can design your own tour, where you start, where you finish, the amount of days you want to walk, where you want to walk, when you want to walk, the dates, the number of people traveling. So it's all very interactive like that. And of course, you can also talk to myself or any members of the sales team on phone or on email or even on live video chat like this. You can arrange one-on-one meetings with our team. And then while you're en route, obviously we offer you 24-hour assistance as well. So I mentioned that we work with most of the routes of the Camino, and we have a map coming up next. And on this map, you will see that you can see Portugal, Spain, and France. Obviously, the Camino is mostly in Spain because it finishes in Santiago de Compostela, which is in northwest Spain, just at that yellow star there. That is Santiago de Compostela, and all routes lead to there. So before we talk about the Camino, just mention the Via Francigena, which is the Camino to Rome. So we also do the walk from Tuscany all the way through Tuscany, down through the hinterlands and into Rome. And that is, as I said, the Camino to Rome. Really stunning, really beautiful. Walking through Tuscany is very special, and it works the same way as the Camino, essentially. And it's definitely something you do need to prepare for. It's not something you can just decide to do and go out on the next day. And it's really, if you're thinking about the Camino, many people plan well in advance. And so they look at the routes they want to do, decide, come to us, they book it. And that could be anything from 6 months to a year in advance. And that is actually when you really should start training. Anyone with hiking experience will know what it's like to get out and hike an average of 15, 20 kilometers in a day. And I think one of the tricks about getting ready for the Camino is actually being able to do it on consecutive days. So pretty much anyone can go out and walk a 20-kilometer route, but it's actually getting up the next day and doing it the next day and then the next day. You definitely don't need to be an athlete. And in fact, a kind of a medium level of fitness will do it. But the fitter you are, the better you are. And the more months that you prep, the better it is. Really, what happens if you don't prepare for the Camino is that you're gonna get sore body and bones. You could actually injure yourself with pulled muscles or a bad back. Blisters are a big thing as well because your feet won't have been prepared for the long walks, and everybody on the Camino talks about blisters. They're pretty much unavoidable anyway if you're doing more than 2 or 3 weeks walking. Um, and yeah, I mean, usual things. It's tiring walking 20K plus a day. You're going to be tired at the end of the day, but I think it's a really good tiredness. And very quickly you'll get into the motion and the routine of the Camino, and you'll start to your body will actually start to enjoy it, and you'll fit up quite quickly. But definitely before you by definitely being prepped before you go, you're going to enjoy it better. You're still going to be tired. You may avoid injuries, and by the time you finish, you're going to feel fantastic. Um, all right, next slide, please. So, really, how long should you train? As I said, when you start your planning, I would say 3 months at a minimum. Now, some of you might be experienced hikers, and you're out hiking every weekend, or at least once a day, or twice a week. Sorry, once a week or twice a week, and you would have built up fitness from that. So you're not specifically training for the Camino; you're just at a general level of good fitness for hiking. But if you haven't done that, definitely 3 months, and anything more than that is good as well. And if you are within the 3 months, try and get yourself out on regular hikes. More than once, twice a week. Get yourself out there, get walking, and the routes of the Camino, they're really classed as medium or easy. So you're not going up and down any massive mountains. With one or two exceptions, but generally the routes are undulating countryside, no more than maybe 100-200 meters a day up and down. And yep, that's good. So thank you, Martha. The training basics, really. Like if anyone's ever done anything like a marathon, half marathon, or even a 5K, you got to train up to that point. So the average walking day in a community is around 15, 20 kilometers per day. And that's really what you want to build up to. And you want to try and get your consecutive walks in. That means, like, if you're going to go for a hike on a Saturday and walk 20Ks, do the same thing on a Sunday and even on a Monday if you can. I know we all have life pressures that's hard to kind of fit that in, but it's definitely worth taking a long weekend and doing something like that. And that's going to give you a good kind of bearing on where you are and what else you need to do. It's really important that you train in the gear that you're going to wear in the Camino. Like there are a couple of items of gear that is very important. Number one is the shoes, and on the Camino you don't need big chunking sole, stiff-soled hiking boots that you usually go up heavy rocky terrain. You just need flexible-soled approach shoes or hiking shoes, really. That the flexibility in the sole is the most important. That gives you support and also lets your foot flex when you're walking on the hard roads, and that's very important. Go and buy your shoes that you're going to walk in now. Go into any of your good kind of outdoor retailers. Tell them you're doing the Camino. They'll know the gear you need. In the US, you've got REI. In the UK, you've got Blacks and you've got Cotswolds Outdoor. In Ireland, we've got lots of stores as well. So these guys, they know what they're talking about. They understand the Camino, and it's very important. The other thing they'll fit you with is your backpack. Even if you're just carrying a day pack, it's very important that your backpack is right for your back because there are differences in backpacks. So just don't buy them off the internet and think it's going to work for you. You should definitely get your backpack fitted. That's very, very important. Yeah, and that's really the basics. So right gear, build up your strength, build up your walks, build up your kilometers per day, mix up the terrain. Throwing a few hills in there is going to give you again a great bearing of where you're at.
Can I ask a question?
If you could not, please, because we have well over 100 people on the presentation. If everyone starts asking questions, we'll never get to the end. There is a chat. You can ask your question in chat, and we'll get to your questions at the end. So apologies for that, but we do have to have some level of control because it can get very, very busy. We have 218 people listening on this at the moment, so it's a fantastic number. Thank you very much. A simple training progression, really. And if anyone's ever trained for a marathon or half marathon or anything like that, it's really about increasing your distances per day. So when you first start going out, if whether you walk 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 miles or kilometers, that's going to be your starting point. So I'm good at 5. The next day you go out, you walk 5.5 or 6, and the next day you go out, you increase that. So increase your distances every time you go and do the exercise. That's very important. There's many, many, many training schedules you can get online. Just Google them. Hal Higdon is a great one. And generally, it's the same for a marathon, for 5K, for a half marathon. You just increase your distances every day when you get out and walk. Again, make sure you're in the gear that you're going to be walking in because that helps everything settle in with you. I think on our website, we have a downloadable ebook, which is a 6-month fitness plan as well. If you go on to the next slide there, please. Gives you an example. So a 6-month fitness plan, and it just gives you a bit of a guide of where you should be from month one to month 6. And it's on our website, CaminoWays.com. And we do have an ebook as well of getting fit for the Camino. You can download that ebook for free. It's not a problem. And then you can follow that. But as I said, there's many options as well online. But it is pretty basic. Just get out there, get walking, do more walk, do longer walks every time you go out. Throw in a few hills. Very, very important. The important thing to note is that when you're walking, and if you're walking with a group of people, sometimes it's a bit like if you've ever skied before, or if you've ever even run, jogged before being in a race. There's people who are always faster, and there's people who are always slower, and there's people that's always in between. You're not in a race. You're also not trying to keep up with people, or people aren't trying to keep up with you. I personally am quite a kind of, I suppose, a medium paced walker, which means that I'm never at the front of the group. I'm never at the back of the group. I'm always somewhere in the middle. It is vital that you walk at your pace, the pace that you're comfortable walking and the pace that you're used to walking. Why? Simple reason is that if you go beyond your pace, you're going to push your body further. And even walking slower than your normal pace is pushing your body because it's doing something that you're not used to doing. And that can cause injury as well. And I've actually witnessed that myself. So you want to be very careful that you are walking within your own pace. It may mean you may not be walking with your friends all of the time, but that's a bit of a sacrifice you may have to take. But within an hour, everybody should always stop, rest, have a bit of a catch up, come together. So for every hour you walk, you should take at least a 15-minute break or 10-minute break, and then have a good long lunch. And you will get there. You'll always get to where you need to go. All right. Thank you, Martha. Yes, downhills. Downhills can be worse than uphills. Definitely, if you're on a steep uphill, you'll feel it. It takes a lot of energy and endurance to get up that hill, and even the small ones. So don't discount them. But some people actually find downhill walking harder because it's hard on your knees. You've used a lot of energy to get up there, and you're actually walking downhill can be a little bit more, I suppose, challenging for some people. So if you've ever had a knee issue, you totally understand that walking downhill is harder than up a hill. So walking poles are a really good thing to have in your arsenal as well. If you've never walked with walking poles, essentially there's a method to walk with them, and that's important. I'll come back to that. But also, they will take a 30% off your upper body. I suppose um, it'll take that level of pressure off your upper body by 30%, which is a lot. So it gives you a little bit of four-wheel drive, if you like. And also with the method of walking, when you go buy your poles, ask again in the outdoor store to show you how you walk with them, that the correct length is the most important thing, really. They'll very quickly show you that. It's not easy, it's not complicated. They'll show you, and within a couple of minutes you'll have it. But the important thing again is to train with them, for the simple reason that when you walk a walking pose, your walking gait, the way of your walking, you're using your arms, so it's different. So your body is going to use different muscles, so it's going to be tired. So by training with them, you're going to train your body up to the point of using those poles. Okay, so thank you, Martha. And they're great for coming down hills. The old blister problem, I mean, it is probably one of the most talked about things on the Camino. When you stop for lunch, you'll understand, because all the little lovely cafes and restaurants en route, pretty much everybody's either trying to sort their blisters out, look at other people's blisters, or talk about the blisters. So it's probably the most talked about point. So, and but it is something we've got to be aware of. And blisters, really, what causes them is moisture on your feet from sweat. And within sweat, you have a little bit of salt, and it's that salt that becomes abrasive against the skin and the footwear or your socks that can cause the blister, and they can become very sore. They can become affected, and actually, they can, if they do become affected, they may even stop your Camino. So you need to be very, very careful. The main thing is, if you start to feel that hot spot, so that point where the blister is forming, you will feel it. Don't wait. Don't think, oh, I'm going to be fine. It's going to get better. It's not. Once when you get that hot spot, it's going to become a blister. So stop, get your Compeed on or your blister plaster on, and cover it. A bit of Vaseline always helps as well to cool it down and give it a little bit of, I suppose, absorption. So you can put the Vaseline on and then put your Compeed or your blister plaster on. And to note, always bring blister plasters. It's definitely a vital thing to put in your day pack or in your luggage. If you forget them, if you're flying, there's loads of places you can buy them in Spain or on the Camino, so don't worry about that. But definitely, blister plasters are the way to go. There's lots of ways to avoid moist blisters as well. Google is your friend on this as well. Very briefly, when I'm doing extended hikes, long hikes, I plaster my feet in Vaseline before I do anything else. First of all, I make sure they're dry, and I put Vaseline all over my feet, and then I put my socks on, and then I put my boots on. It sounds mad, it feels horrible, it looks horrible. It's a horrible process, but it works, and that's the most important thing. What it does, it creates, I suppose, a protective layer between your foot and the sock, and it also helps with the wicking away of the moisture from your feet. So it's very, very good. The type of socks you're wearing are important as well. I swear by merino wool socks. That's the Australian sheep wool, or the New Zealand sheep wool. Sorry, New Zealand. So New Zealand sheep, they developed this wool called merino wool, and it's brilliant because it keeps them cool in the winter, or it keeps them warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And it also has a fantastic wicking potential where it takes the moisture again away from your feet up through your socks and out of your boots. And so that's for me the best sock you can buy. There's many different types. Go in again, go to your outdoor store, ask them, and they'll give you the lowdown on that. It seems a little bit silly as well, and I have made this mistake as well, is always trim your toenails. Sometimes I've gone out for a hike and I've forgot to maybe trim one of my toenails, and that nail has I suppose bitten in or cut into my toe the next door, and that can be extremely painful. And again, it actually can prevent you from walking the next day, and it can very easily become affected. So shorten up your toenails before you start. And if you're going for an extended period of time, like more than 2 3 weeks, make sure you have nails clippers just to keep those nails short. Okay, thank you, Martha. All the lovely things you get to talk about on the Camino. Um, your training will build up the strength within your knees, joints, back, shoulders, everything. There's a lovely picture here of this person carrying a very heavy backpack. If you are doing it self-supported, you definitely need to be training with that level of backpack on your back while you're training. You can see the walking pose would be extremely helpful here just to keep balance and also to help take the strain off your back while you're walking. Same with the day pack. You'll still get tired with a day pack. You'll feel it on your back after a couple of hours walking. So again, it's very important that you have that correct backpack fitted. But again, training will hopefully keep your all the parts of your body you need to get to the end of the Camino. Um, Hydration is very important for your whole body. And just a note on hydration as well. A lot of people, you can get the camelbacks or the reservoirs that you put in your backpack. That's with the tube that comes out of the backpack. They're brilliant. Simple reason being is you can slowly sip away at the water when you're walking. And the low intake of water consistently is better for absorption and better for hydration. When you stop, rest, you take a massive big glug of water from a water bottle, which is good to do as well. But you will only absorb a certain amount of that water, and also you probably need to go to the bathroom after about 10 minutes after you drank that amount of water. So slow multiple sips of water is very good for hydration. Not so much the big glugs of water. So they're very good. So a camelback or a reservoir for your backpack is a good thing to bring. Food. One of the great things about the Camino is the food. Breakfast, not so great. It's a continental breakfast. It's typical. It's breads, it's meats, it's cheeses, it's cereals. Happens all over Europe. Us Irish, English, and Americans don't really like it much because we like our big breakfasts. But this is what we have to put up with. But after that, everything definitely gets better. There's many little restaurants, cafes, and villages you can stop in while you're walking the Camino. There's always so much to stop and fuel up, and lovely little restaurants. If you're spending 10 to 15 euros a day on your food for your lunch, you're entertaining yourself and having a lovely lunch. And then in the evening, you can have dinner booked with us, which is the pilgrim menu. It'll be in your accommodation. You have lots of choices there. And also, it's not bad not to book dinner, and then you can dine a la carte and go to local restaurants or eat in hotel you're staying in. And the food in northern Spain is very local, out of the backyard, and might have even been killed that day. Don't be expecting anything too different from your typical meat and two veg and your fish and two veg. Obviously, pasta, but it's fantastic. It's fresh. It is as organic as you get, and that's one of the things I love about the Camino. Don't overeat. That's important as well. I mean, you know yourselves what your general daily intake you will need. You'll find you'll probably need a little bit more food just to keep your energy up, and also maybe packing a few energy bars just to fuel you up while you're walking as well. Not a bad thing to do. What is important is you just keep water in your backpack as well. So always have 100 liters water, milliliters water in your backpack, and then you're never going to go thirsty. Okay. Yeah, and a lot of people talk about the mental side of the Camino. I'm certainly not qualified to talk about the mental powers of the Camino. I'm not sure if anyone is really, but there's one thing I will say about doing a pilgrimage is of any kind or any route, whether you're walking, cycling, or even riding a horse across a country that you've never been on before. It is a form of pilgrimage, and pilgrimage is this what it is. You are walking from point to point in a different country. You are out of your element. You're not sure where you're going, and this all lends to worry, anxiety. Am I going to be lost? Is someone going to jump out of the bushes? Is all of this can happen? I think the Camino is one of the safest, well mapped, and well trodden routes on the planet. And I've been doing this for 15 years with the Camino, and it's really fantastic in that point. So it's very, very safe. It's incredibly well marked and signposted. You see those yellow arrows and the scallop shells that like on your direction markers. And there's also usually people on the route as well, just to keep you entertained. And if you're never really not in sight of somebody walking the Camino, it's not massively packed at all. So you're not pushing through people, but there's always people around you, which is good. And with the actual walk itself, you will no, even if you're with a group or on your own, you will experience this level of leaving the world behind because all you need to think about is putting one foot in front of the other and where you're going. And this becomes your routine and this becomes your life. Obviously, the scenery and what's going on around you on the Camino is also very much part of what is happening. But that all lends it into itself. And you will have moments where you'll wonder what you're doing. You'll have moments of physical exhaustion. You'll have moments of mental exhaustion. But I think the most fantastic thing is when you finish each day, you have that massive sense of achievement, and all you need to do is refuel, go to bed, get up, and do it again. A lot of people I talk to, and I've experienced this myself, is that when you finish one of these routes, it's a bit of an anticlimax because suddenly you finish this incredible journey and you've come to the end and you're not getting up tomorrow to go for a walk and you either have a free day or you're flying home, and this can really affect people, and I think people should be a little bit prepared for that. That end can be, I suppose, not as ecstatic as people think. It's more of an end to something that they've had an incredible experience on. And this is where I think the spiritual side comes in as well, is that real sense of accomplishment, that sense that I've got into myself while I've done the walk, and I've maybe learned something new about myself or settled something about myself that was within me. So I think, and that is the real pilgrimage of the Camino or of any of these routes that people do. So that's where we leave that at then. Motivation. I think if you started this journey, and your start of this journey is when you've decided to do it, when you come onto our website, when you've looked at a Camino map, was a friend of yours has done it, and they come back to you and said you got to do this. Whatever the reason, that's when you get your motivation. You've got to keep moving along with that motivation. The world can throw lovely things in your way to make you change your mind, stop you from going out and doing that training. Um, Whatever that may be, try to overcome it. Get out there. Hiking itself, just in and around your own area, is fantastic. You get to see parts of your local area that you've probably never been to before, and then actually getting out and doing the Camino is the combination of all of this. So yeah, just get out there, get to it. Yeah, there's a little note there about connect with communities and things. There's lots of places that have hiking clubs, fellow pilgrims. Just get on, join all the pilgrim sites or pilgrim chats and social media um, memberships, and you'll find a lot of information on that. Whether it's true or not is a different story. You come to us for the truth, but they're good, and you can bounce ideas off each other. Okay, thank you very much, Martha. Walking at your own pace. I've already mentioned this. That's really important. So yeah, we've kind of covered this, so I think we're okay here. Walking is mindfulness, and we talked a little about this and what the mindfulness is, and you will definitely, because you will get into that meditative state as you walk every day, and walking within your own pace gives you time to think and time to ponder everything, I suppose, and that's really important. But there's a couple of things you will need, unfortunately, is that you need your phone. Everybody does, but that's usually just to map yourself. You should try and leave your troubles behind you, your work behind you, anything that you want to leave behind you, and just look forward in the Camino. open yourself up to meeting people. I think that's very important. We all have a natural shyness, or our natural instinct is not to talk to people or to open ourselves up to people. And on the Camino, that's incredibly difficult to avoid, because people are always there to help you, to find out who you are, to find out where you've walked from, to find out how your blisters are, to help you along the way, to help you if you're lost. All of these things, and they will. So it's really difficult not to meet people, not to make connections, not to have conversations on the Camino. And you should definitely open yourself up to that, because it will give you an extra level of that experience. And I think that's very important as well. And just a little note there, leave the headphones behind, turn off the music, keep moving, keep walking, don't worry about getting lost. So it's all very important. Thanks, Martha. So really, yep, the key takeaways is when you decide you're going to do the Camino, even if you haven't booked, get out there, get training. Hiking is a great way to fitten up your body, fitten up your mind, and fitten up your soul. So get training early, get your gear early, because if the gear isn't working for you, then you can get it changed. And I've bought boots that haven't worked. I've done a couple of hikes, I brought them back to the outdoor store, and they've changed them happily for me, even though they were a little bit used. So they're very good like that. The more you talk to them, the better they are. Just be mindful of your body, what's aching, look after it, maybe go to a physio, ask them a bit more, or something's giving you a bit more of an issue than it should. And yeah, keep at your own pace, enjoy it. Don't overextend yourself. And if you have questions, ask us, because we are here for you to answer them. Thanks, Martha. So thank you for that. Hopefully now we can get to your questions. So the way we work this is Martha will read out the question, and hopefully I can answer.
Thanks, Jeremy. So there we go. Do you recommend rest days on the Camino?
Yeah, again, that's your choice. With us, you can add rest days in. Generally, for every 5, 6, or 7 days you walk, you'll come to a major town or city. And it's always great to stop, take a breath, and also to explore the city, because some of the cities are amazing. I mentioned Burgos, Leon, really Pamplona, San Sebastian, really iconic cities that if you are walking through, I think you will be sorry not to have stopped and explored them a bit more. And don't worry about taking a rest day if you have time. Taking rest days is a good thing to do. Sometimes it's really hard to get back going again after taking a rest day. But your body, at that point, once you've walked 4 or 5 days, your body gets into that routine very quickly and actually fitens up while you're walking. So, yeah.
Thank you. I have always heard to keep momentum, just non-stop for lunch or breaks, or they shouldn't be longer than 5 minutes and no sitting, contrary to what we say.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own way of doing things. I've been a guide. I've taken people on expeditions. I'm doing the Camino for 15 years, and I always stick to the mantra that for every hour you walk, you take a 10-minute break. Take a good long lunch break. Now, obviously, if you're under time constraints and you need to get somewhere, that's a different story. But if you're climbing Kilimanjaro, you'll hear the guys just saying "boli, boli, boli" all the time. That means slowly, slowly, slowly. Take your time, walk within your own pace. You will get there.
Thank you. Still need Vaseline when using merino wool for the socks?
Yeah, I mean, the more you do, sometimes people overdo it. But yeah, for me, yes. If you're doing multi-day walks, extended kilometers per day, Vaseline, absolutely, 100%. I said it's horrible. It's not a good thing to do in the morning. But you get used to it, and yeah, just have baby wipes or something close by. You can wipe your hands. But yeah, it's not very pleasant, but it works, and that's the main thing.
Thank you. If using the luggage transfer, what size backpack do you recommend?
So the day pack, 15, 20 liters. You don't need anything bigger than that. So within that, you should have kind of water, a little bit of extra food, nothing too extensive. Personal items that your passports and things like that. You maybe just want to keep on yourself, and an extra fleece, a light rain jacket. So nothing substantial really. Yeah, that's all you need. So 15, 20 liter backpack.
Do
Get
you
it fitted
really,
though. Sorry.
sorry, do you really need mobile phone data when walking?
Data will work everywhere with us, or when you book with us. Our tour portal is online. So to get your bookings where you're staying, we have live mapping as well, so you can actually track yourself on the Camino and the route. So yes, the way things are going these days, technology is there. Now you can download and print all the information as well. You can also buy a guidebook. John Beardy's guidebook is very well known. I know Lonely Planet have just launched a Camino guidebook, and there's a good few others as well. So you can buy your guidebooks, but the Camino is incredibly well marked, and you don't want your head in the book all the time as well. You definitely don't want your head in your phone all the time as well. But it's good to have it if and should you need it.
Thank you. 1 second. Is there somewhere to rent or buy trekking poles when we get to Oviedo?
Yeah, so trekking poles, sometimes they're hard to bring in your luggage. You can't rent them, but there's plenty of places to buy them. So in pretty much every town in the Camino, any store, the kind of grocery store, and there is sports stores as well, will have walking poles. There's a great thing on the Camino that they're recycling them back onto the Camino. So when you finish your Camino, you can leave them at the Pilgrim office, and they'll actually recycle them back to all the shops that provide poles on the Camino. So 10, 15 years, you can buy very, very good secondhand poles. So that's great as well.
Going in July, Camino Frances, do you recommend booking albergues in advance? How far in advance?
So albergues, unfortunately, a lot of them you cannot book in advance, that they just don't accept it. The tradition of the Camino is first come, first serve, and that therein is why you hear a lot of people saying they had to get up early to get to the next town. It's sometimes it's to avoid the weather, but most times it's actually so they can get to the next town early to get the beds. It's a little bit unfortunate. It's the way it works. Some albergues will take bookings, but the majority won't. I would, if you are booking albergues and if you have a list and ones that will take bookings, do it as early as you can, as soon as you can, because then you'll get your bed. Otherwise, it's back on, start your walk, and hope there's a bed at the end of the day. People always find a bed on the Camino. It's again one of those things. With us, obviously, all your accommodation is prearranged, so you don't have that worry.
Thank you. Is the Camino safe for solo women walkers?
Yeah, very good question. I get this a lot, and my answer is yes, frankly. Um, the Camino is very well populated with other walkers. The local population along the Camino love the Camino and the people who do it and look after you, and they respect you. You respect them. It's bringing a great economy to the area as well, on practical terms. So the Camino is extremely popular both for the Camino walkers and the locals. So for me, yes, it is very safe. But you should always be aware of your surroundings. Nowhere is 100% safe, no matter where you are. If you're at your hometown, wherever you live, your local city, you don't walk around thinking that I'm 100% safe here. I think it's the same in the Camino. You should just be aware of your surroundings, who is surrounding you, and this is also where possibly a mobile phone might come in handy. But again, in 15 years doing the Camino, I've heard of very few instances that happen. You do read online stories. We obviously monitor them very well, and if there is any ongoing issues, we talk to the local authorities and see what they can do. And in some cases, there has action been taken, but again, it's very rare. When I chat about making friends in the Camino, talking to other people, you will probably end up walking with people, even though you've booked yourself. And people also recognize some people are on their own, and again, if you open up to it, people will approach you and walk with you as well, and that adds to the safety element.
Thank you so much. How demanding is the Camino Inglés?
It's a little bit more demanding than the others in the form of distances and elevations, in a sense. I wouldn't say much more, maybe an extra 15% more, if that gives you any kind of bearing. It's a fantastic route, very rural, very traditional. Just the distances is what makes it a little bit tougher.
Thank you. For the Primitivo, are hiking boots recommended? What's the best footwear for that route?
On all Caminos, as I said, flexible soled approach shoes. And what I mean by approach shoes is that if you go climb a big rocky mountain, in Ireland is a big mucky mountain, you need stiff soled hiking boots, that go well over your ankle. You definitely do not need those in the Camino. An approach shoe or a trekking shoe is flexible, so when you pick it up, you should be able to bend it very easy off the sole. It should have good wide soles to give you that support. But it's the flexibility, breathability, waterproof. They're the main things.
Thank you. If using the luggage transfer service, does it need to be a backpack or it can be a suitcase?
It could be any kind of case. Now, there are size limitations. It's all on our website. Just check it out when you're booking. The information is there as well. 20 kgs is our weight limit.
Thank you. In addition to the walking, hiking training you recommended, is there any specific weight strength training you recommend to complement the walking?
Well, I mean, any strength training is going to complement any level of exercise you do. I'm not qualified really to tell you what kind of strength training to do, but again, go to your local gym, tell them what you're doing, tell them what you need, and they will give you a program to suit that. Upper body training is very good for the Camino. Simple squats. If you get up every morning and do 20 squats every day, that's going to help you a lot. And Unfortunately, I've hurt my back at the moment, so I can't do that. So I'm a little bit angry at myself because I had a whole summer of hiking plan, but now that might be gone out the window. And that's a very good example of making sure you're prepped. I did something I shouldn't have done the other day, and I've hurt my back, and I've kind of ruined the next 2 months of hiking. But there you go; these things happen.
Are gluten-free food options available on most of the routes?
Yes, lots of little villages, restaurants, towns, cafes. You'll be walking through them every couple of kilometers. You're going to have somewhere with an option.
Do you recommend taking an extra pair of walking shoes?
Hmm. No. Well, if you're booking with us again, you've got space, and you may have space, and you'll be able to take extra hiking shoes. But why would you? If you're not happy with the shoes you're wearing, then there's something wrong. Go get that sorted out before you go. Also, if something goes wrong with your shoes, there's a whole economy around the Camino. So in the bigger towns and cities, you're going to have good stores that have the same branded boots that you're used to, and you'll be able to replace your boots. But in general, specifically if you're carrying your own gear because you need to be brutal on your weight, don't. No. Just for the evenings, it's nice to have a pair of flip flops or dare I say, a Crocs or something like that, just to wear something that's nice, free on your feet, and gets air onto your feet and it's comfortable for you to wear.
Thank you. Is next year heavily booked or as it is now? Is
Sorry?
20, is 2027 already fully booked or very busy?
No, it's not. I mean, next year is what's known as a holy year on the Camino, with Jubilee year, which means they open the holy door in the cathedral in Santiago. And if you walk through that door at the end of your Camino, you will be absolved of all your sins, and you get a free pass to heaven. So it's fantastic. But it does add to the number of people walking the Camino for this year specifically. Yes, we're seeing an elevated level of bookings, but it's still very early for next year. If you are planning next year, definitely start now. Definitely get your booking in early. We don't wait. The minute you book, we start booking the hotels even now for next year. So yeah, get it in early.
Thank you. What type of rain gear do you recommend for walking late October on Portuguese coastal?
Yeah, so it's still going to be warm. You're still going to be 20 odd degrees, maybe a bit more. So you don't need anything that is going to insulate you from the cold. You just need something that's going to be waterproof. So light, very good rain jackets or ponchos. Don't be afraid to spend a bit of money on these because they're going to keep you dry. A lot of people put on very, very good hiking waterproofs, and they feel moisture after a bit of rain. That moisture is actually own body's moisture that's within the jacket and will wick away after a while. It's just to keep that torrential rain off you. And yeah, spend a bit of money, €200 plus on a very good waterproof rain jacket. You want to be looking for about 20,000 thread on it. You'll talk to your outdoor store guy. He'll know what I mean.
Thank you. What about protecting money, car, passport at albergues, showers?
Um, yeah, I mean, just have it on your person. Be aware. Don't leave it on your bed. Don't leave your luggage unattended. Um, I've heard of a few reports lately that there's an albergue. There was a few thefts in. I think this is the kind of thing that happens. It can happen anywhere in the world. It's not Camino specific. It's very rare in the Camino. And again, the locals protect the Camino. So, but no matter where you are, you should always be aware, especially of your valuables. And that's where kind of, I suppose, a little day pack or a little backpack is good because it's easy to keep on you or close to you at all times.
Thank you. What is the elevation for the full Frances? Could you describe first day over mountain? That's a complicated one.
Yeah, elevation wise, I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but yeah, the first day from Saint Jean Pierre de Port over the Napoleon Pass and down into the Roncesvalles, it's 26 kilometers, pretty much halfway up, halfway down. Off the top of my head, I think the elevation is around 450 meters. I'd have to check that. I'll just see if I can quickly look at it here on our website. There is, if you go onto our website and look up Camino Frances, just scroll down, you'll see a map, and there's actually an elevation and ascent map on that. So will give an idea. So just in there now. So the first day is you're going from 178 meters to 1,297. So that is about 500 meters. So yeah, it's a challenging day, but it's one of the highlights of the Camino. So don't avoid it. Take your time.
Thank you. And last question, we have to wrap up. Are toilets available along the way?
You're walking through a country. It's people's farms and people's fields, and yes, in their local cafes and restaurants, no problem going and use them. But there might be a couple of kilometers between from where you've passed your last village, cafe or restaurant, to when you get to your next one. Unfortunately, a lot of people do leave waste paper behind and behind the ditches when they do go to the loo. Please don't do that, or burn them. Bring a lighter and burn the waste paper that you use, because it's not very good for the farmers or the locals to have that kind of thing in their fields. So try and be as natural as you can and use the facilities that are there. But you're not going to find portaloos and things as you're walking. That's not possible or viable or ever will be. But definitely, if you pass passing a town, no problem to pop into a cafe, and they'll completely let you use their facilities.
Thank
Lovely
you so
last
much.
question to finish on.
I know, but it's one of the ones that they come up all the time, so I think it's important.
It does indeed. Okay. Well, thank you very much, all. If we didn't get to all of your questions, I'm very sorry. We did a huge number on here today, which is amazing. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be doing one next month as well. Not sure on what yet. But next month is July, which means it is St. James's Day, the 25th of July. So it's a big month for the Camino, essentially. If you have that question that you didn't get answered, please email us at info@CaminoWays.com. And we'll answer that question. Or, as I said, you can request an itinerary, or you can go into our website at CaminoWays.com and actually design your own itinerary. Just go in and get a quote. Thank you very much. And again, hope to see you on the Camino soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.